All right, so to get started, we are going to come into Command, and we'll go to our the consumer applet down here. And this is where we'll be able to add new pages. So we'll click on our agent site pages here. And this is going to give you a list of all of your built agent pages. Now, for most of us that have only gone through the Kelly guide, we have our 3 pages that we built through there, the About Us, About Me, and Contact Us. You can edit those, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. So to get started to create a new page, simple as it seems, come up here to the top right-hand corner to create a new site. With this pop-up window, we want to make sure we select on my agent site versus a standalone page, because the way that Command maps the different pages we build will affect if we're able to actually add it to our agent site. So we have to select on my agent site and create page. So now we have the page builder that pops up. So before we do anything, I always recommend titling your page. You just want to make sure that you can easily track what the page is. So then when you go to add it later on, you know what you're looking for. Because if you start making a bunch of changes to your sites, in your designs applet, it will have a ton of different sites with all just squiggle names, and it's not easy to figure out which one you want to use. So, so I'm just going to name this Tech Training, say 430. And then I'm going to exit out of this little widget at the bottom, just so we have a full screen here. Now, we have this full list of widgets, so we can work with those as well. And these are pretty already built out, so it's pretty easy just to drag and drop those. The agent profile one is already included in the About Me, but let's say if you want to create a testimonial capture form. So in order for you to have testimonials on your web page, you have to have a capture form for you to actually select them. So it's kind of a chicken or the egg scenario, but you do have to get the testimonial. So you would pull that over here.
Nicholas, do you have 2 screens?
Oh, are you not seeing my screen?
I think we're seeing the wrong screen.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me fix that then.
Okay.
Stop share. Thank you, Rudiger, for letting me know. Okay, so stop share there, and then let me share my proper screen. All right. Can you see my screen there with the page builder? Hold on, I can't see it. Does that work?
Yeah, we can see it now, but I was trying to follow, and then I was like, where's pushing these buttons? I don't see any of that on my screen.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So share fail on my behalf. I apologize. So thank you for letting me know. So I'm now on the, I'm within the, let me decline this, the page builder within Command. So assuming we're all tracking, I have dragged over the testimonial capture form from down here on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. So let's say below that you want to get a little jazzy. We want to make this a little personal. We have content blocks and layout blocks down here in the bottom right-hand corner. And this is where you can start to make things and personalize it. You can add anything from a button to a divider, an image, and you can organize this any which way you want. Now, I will say this, it isn't the most user-friendly. It does take a little bit of trial and error to figure out how to work all these things to get them situated, but you do have the capability of making it personalized. So just for the sake of this conversation for now, I'm just going to get rid of this widget, the lead capture, because we want to make a really cool personal site. So let's start over here. Let's say we want to add an image. So I'll just click here, and I will pull over this image from a listing, and then double click it. Now it adds this image and it's huge. So we'll just resize this, and you just kind of gotta drag it until it doesn't look stretched anymore. So, well, we don't want that. Let me try to make it just a little bit bigger. So that way it takes up the full width here. So we can add that image. And then below there, let's say we want to do a little text section. So we have two different options with text. So this here, the O, is just going to be straight text, no formatting. And then the text section kind of has a header and text below it. So let's try this. So just drag it below there. And you can see, you know, add 1903. Add some text there. And I will say this, I've been having trouble trying to edit this text as a part of this. And it's like never given me the option to edit it. So then, you know what? How about this? Let's just delete this. And of course, now it's going to give me lots of trouble. But this is where the trial and error comes in of just playing around. I'm just going to delete the whole thing. Well, this is great. You know what? I'm just going to start over. Sometimes this is the joy of live training. So I'm just going to start over, select my agent site, create page. So I'm just going to, like I said, rename this training 430. And then first content block I did was the image. Select this image here. Double click on it here, and I'm just going to resize it. Perfect. So I want to add some text. I'm not going to do the text section because that gave me some trouble. So I'll just drag and drop the O text here, put that below, and then just start, you know, just 1903 Cannon Street, Decatur, Georgia 303 30032. I believe that is correct. And then you can just start play with font size. So you can select your font over here. So for this, we'll do Georgia. And we want this to be kind of big and bold. But we don't want it in the middle of, or sorry, left aligned. So we can edit that over here. So come up above where we have all the widgets and content blocks, there is a paintbrush. And then we can start to make some changes. So we have here, we would select typography. And then you can change, you know, the text alignment. So I can select center there. I could change font color here. So if I wanted to do this cool red color, and then click OK. Letter spacing. If I wanted to space out the letters more, so just click on that there. So this kind of makes it look cool, and then you can also change the font here, just like you did in the drop down. So I can change it to Helvetica. All right, so that is how you would change the text there. I saw I got a question, so let me stop to see that. All right, perfect. Yeah, so Angie had to start over too. Yeah, so sometimes the page builder is really easy to work with, and sometimes it's just tricky, and I can never seem to click on it in the right way to be able to delete a field, and sometimes it just is easier to start over. So glad we both had that same issue. So we're able to add the text there. Now we want to add, you know, some more layouts here. So let's say I want to start adding some specific content about this listing that I have here. So we have different text sections down here. So we have a grid item here. So you could drag over a grid, or we have a list item. So if we had some items we wanted to list out and like some images to go along with them, or we have a 1/3 section. So if we know that if we want to have some content that is divided into thirds, we can do that here, or 3/7. So you can just kind of play around with it and figure out what you want. Let's, for the sake of today, let's drag over the 3/7 section. So just grab that, and we will drag that below the text. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure that every time you drag that over, that you see the green line below the previous item on the screen. So you can see here we have, here's our 3/7 section and then our 1/7 section. So we can, you know, we can split that up into two areas. And right now it just says cell because it's empty. There's nothing in there. So we can add text to those sections. We can add images to those sections. So we'll do a little bit of both. So we'll come up here to the content sections. You know what? I have an idea. Let's add a button. So to this one section over here, let's grab this button and we'll come and drag it over here and make sure that section is highlighted, and we will put that button there. All right, so it has button. And then we'll come over up here to the paintbrush, and now we can start to edit it. So we should be able to, if we dimension, let's come over here to dimension. So it's not aligned in the center of the area, which we don't want. So what I have found the easiest way to do this is to start playing with the margins. So if we come over here to the left margin, let's just start by adding a 50 margin. Okay, so that moves it over. And maybe we want to try 75, just to move it over a little bit more. How does that look? Let's try 100. And they'll probably want to do the same up here on the top. How does that look? No, that's too much. So let's try 30. Perfect. Okay. I think we could probably bring this over to the left a little bit more. So you can see that you can start playing with the margins and the different characteristics within this paintbrush area to personalize this and make it your own. So we have our button here, which we should, well, we will update that button in just a moment. So we have our button set there. We can also add I think we should be able to set this to have a link to it. So let's try that. Oh, we don't want that. That is not what we want. So over here in our cell, let's add some text. So the easiest way to do that is going to be to grab this text section here and drag that over there. Oh no, not what I wanted. I picked the wrong one, didn't I? So let's just delete it. Perfect. Wrong one. Oh no. I deleted my section. So now we want to come back over here. Let's do layout blocks. We'll just do a one section. Let's drag that and see if we can drag that into here. Nope, it's not working. Of course, this all went really well while I was doing it at home last night. And now it doesn't want to work. Okay, so what we'll do here is I'll delete this. See if I can drag this up here. See, now it's giving me, you know what? I'm just going to delete all this again right here. And I'm going to start over with that, with the 3/7 section. Sorry, I'm trying to be helpful here, but I just keep running into roadblocks. So I'll come back here really quickly. I'll add that button back in here. Oh, perfect. So put it automatically center. Great. So it followed what we did before. And now I'll grab the correct text box right here, and I'll just drag that in there. So I can just start adding my text box. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2,000 square feet, fenced in backyard. All right. All right, so we can see here that we have all of, oh, no, let's undo what I just did. Perfect. So we want to come over here to the paintbrush section, and let's do typography, and now we can start to play with this as well. Vertical alignment, here we can select middle, and it should in the middle, perfect. And now it'll realign it so it's in the center. So these two items are centered aligned. I have a couple questions. Preview. So Rudiger said, when using big margins, be sure to preview the page on all sizes and device types. They don't always play nice with responsive design. That is correct. So I was actually going to show you later on towards the end how if we start to add some HTML into the training or into the websites, that it'll actually be able to, we can create it so it is responsive friendly. So to Rudiger's point up here in the top left-hand corner, we're currently looking at the website browser window, but we can click to see what it looks like on a tablet and also a phone. So we can see how those margins. So to Rudiger's point here, we can see that this button is now pushed all the way over and it is condensing our text on the left. So I wonder if we come over here, if we go to dimensions, I wonder if we could you could start playing with the dimensions there. But for right now, you kind of, just trying to show you how to use all this stuff here. Let's see, decorations. Let's see, do we want to add any decorations here? So we can add a border. We want to do a little dashed border, just so it's something fun that we can, highlight as you're scrolling through the page. Let's see, is there anything else we want to add here? Text shadow, no. So I just want to get you, so you can see that you can play with this, with the different tools. And then another thing I want to show you with this, what you could also do if you really want to is you can switch these. So if you wanted to move the text, no, not how I wanted to do it. You want to move the whole cell, you can just drag and drop. So now you can switch, so you can have your 1/7 section over here on the right-hand side and the 3/7 section on the left-hand side. So you are able to switch them. And then let's say we want to do, let's just do another, let's just do let's try a list. Let's see how that works. So we'll just drag that below. And then, like I said before, make sure that green line is all the way at the bottom of all of your items. So, because if it is not below the previous items that you've added to the page, it will add this new layout block into that previous cell that you had updated. So here we are again with this very difficult to edit text that I don't know. Let's do great. So you can start updating this text. Now I must be doing something wrong here, and it worked the other day, but getting this text to edit is not fun. So now we have this 150 by 150 image area that we should be able to add an image to. So if we come up here to content blocks, should be able to take this image and drag it. No, nope, it is not dragging. Because what we want to do is we want to add that image in there. Try it again and see if this works. Nope, it keeps adding it outside. So I just pulled it over and I deleted it because it's not working. So you should theoretically just be able to click on this, but I'm not able to get it to work today. But you can just kind of see how these different options you're able to drag and drop them, and how you're able to put the different content blocks within the layout blocks is really, the goal of what I wanted to show today. So you can have, let's just try this. We'll delete this. Then I'm going to delete this whole thing here. All right, let's try a grid. Let's see how that works. That may work out better and be a better option for what I wanted to do. So we'll grab the grid, and then, like I said, make sure that the green bar is all the way at the bottom. Perfect. I don't know if this is going to be any better. Buyers, let's try this. Sellers. Let's see if we can center align this. Dimensions. So this really is a lot of trial and error of playing around with this. So it's like there's so many options within the page builder functionality within Command, but it's definitely takes some playing around with to get it to work properly. And I am having trouble here, so I don't know. So obviously for this section right here, it says we want to put an image in there. That would make the most sense, right? So I'm going to try to drag and drop that image in there again. No, we don't want that. Oh, goodness. All right. Let's try quote. Let's see if we drag over quote. So it's not going to let me put anything in there. Let's undo that. Well, y'all, I am sorry for this. So you can see here how you can just kind of drag and drop everything. Now, up in the right-hand corner, you'll see that I can't hit save on this page just yet. And that is because in order to save a custom page, you have to have at least one widget. So in order to do that, we can just come over here to the widget section. And most simply, I would recommend either doing the contact form or download my app. The way that they're formatted and they look and the information they provide makes the most sense for it to be at the bottom of the page. So we will just grab this contact form, scroll down over here, grab it, and then bring it all the way down, making sure that green line is all the way at the bottom. Ooh, nope, bring it up just a bit. Perfect. Now we have that contact form. Now it gives us the option to configure widgets over here. We'll click on contact, and this will give us the option. We can just start updating it. So contact Nick, and then all this information, phone number. I'm going to put, you have the drop down of selecting our office phone number. I'm going to put my personal phone number so they can contact me. I'll hit save and apply. So it's updating that widget. And so then we will be able to save this page and add it to our actual KW agent site. All right. So this is taking longer than normal to update. So I will check questions here. So I got a question of what is the button for? So the button would theoretically be a clickable button so if you wanted to if you wanted to have this click through to another page or something. Now that being said, at the moment I'm not getting it to work properly, so my apologies. But you'd want to add, I think you would come over, let's try this component. Okay, so here, no, body image. All right, come over here. What is happening? So if I click on button, click here, click here. Let's make it clickable. Decorations. So this is really, I'm just trying to click around and figure out, because ideally what we'd want is this button that you could, it says click or lets you know that there's an action to take. So have it set as click. Primary button selected. Dimensions, it's all set up here. Typography, can't really change anything there. Decorations. And then come over here to click. So I'll get some more information on updating the buttons. I have done a little bit of reading from what I've seen so far that people do have some trouble with that, as am I. So not to eat up too much time, I'll just click Save Changes, and this pop up, would you like to publish as an agent site and make it visible to others? We'll want to select yes. So it'll have saved, and now it puts me back here into my agent sites, and I can see it as a list, as a part of the list of sites that I've made. But when I come over here to view, I'm unable to click on the preview because it's not an active subpage, which means that I have not actually added it to my KW agent site. In order to do that, we will come up here to Site and App Settings. And then we will click over here on Site Pages. And so this is where you will manage all the different pages that you have as a part of your agent site that are included as that drop-down menu navigation. So you can see here I have my About Nick, Contact Us, and About Us. These are the pages that we made in the Kelly Guide. But now we want to add a new page. So we'll click down here to add a page. I will select Tech Training 430 because that's the page that I just made. Click Continue. And over here, it gives me these options to fill in this information. So page title, so I'll name it Tech Training 430. You can name this whatever you want. This is what is going to show on that drop-down navigation menu. So make sure that whatever you put here is something that you want your consumers and clients to see. Then we have our URL slug. So what is going to be that subdomain page name? So for me, I'll name it Tech Training 430. You can put dashes or make sure you just leave it full, or just no dashes, just have it all one back to back. And then our SEO description, just want to put kind of what is it? Tech Training 430 2020. So depending on what page this is for you, you do want to update this. First, Atlanta. And this information is going to, one, help your site when the search engines are pulling up. So let me take a step back. When someone goes into the search engine and they type in, let's say, Nicholas Core Realtor, all these options, all these different sites are going to pop up. this SEO description is going to help my website come to the top of that list, as well as when they're seeing the different URLs that are available to them, this description will say tech training 4/30/2020. And so they'll know, okay, this specific page for Nicholas Core Real Estate Group is for tech training. This is what I'm looking for. Just makes it easier for them to navigate, to find the best search results for them. So once you fill this in, click on Save Pages, and now we have saved it. So I will show you the live page. So I will just click nicholascore.kw.com. So here's my little website. Have my logo that I added from my marketing profile. So I come over here to the drop-down menu. I can see tech training 4:30. I click on it. Here's the image that we added. And then here's what we created. You can see here's all the information and those blank boxes. And then the contact Nick form at the bottom that we added. So you can kind of see, at least from my perspective, that the contact form makes sense kind of at the bottom of the page. And then to Rudiger's point, some of the image here and the button based on the margins that I added don't really render all that beautifully in this layout. So I can show you how to fix that. But real quickly, what I would like to do is come back over here and show you how to rearrange these. So let's say I want to put tech training. I don't want it to be the fourth icon or the fourth option in the navigation bar. So I'll just grab these 6 dots here in the left and drag it up. Perfect. I always click Save Page Changes just to be safe. Come back here to my home page. I'll just do another refresh just to be safe. And then click over here on my navigation, and you can see that now I've updated. So tech training is the second option. So that's a quick way to update that. Now, let's say you've created a page and it's been on your website for a month now, but you're like, you know what? I kind of want to make an update to it. You want to jazz it up a little bit. Come over here to Designs. So we'll click on that. I mean, hopefully it'll load. So I'm clicking on it. All right. Looks like it's doing something. Perfect. So what I'm going to do is come over here, click on Agent Site. And this is going to show all the different websites, pages that you've made. I've been playing around with this, so I have a handful here. But you can see this is where things get kind of messy. And I'm trying to say earlier, you want to make sure that you name your naming conventions for the pages that you make is something that you can remember, because here I have 2 tech training in 430s, because this is going to be the first one that I made that ended up exiting out of, and this is the one that I finalized and saved. So let's say you want to come back and you want to edit something. Let's come over here. So let's go over here to the company profile page. I believe this is the one that is live on my site. And I want to make some edits to it. So just click on it. So this is the company profile page. Let's just give it a second to load here. So even though we made these pages within the Kelly guide and it was pretty procedural in the information that we had to drag and drop and only let you put in so much information, you can actually come back through designs and make changes to your company profile. So let's say, you've had a team member come or go, or you want to change something, you can edit that. You can add additional widgets to it. So if you want to, add something to the bottom. So let's say we want at the bottom of this page, we want to add the download my app. We can add that at the bottom. Just because, hey, we want to put download my KW app on every single one of our pages. We can do that. And let's say you want to update the copy that's on that page. Come over here to configure widgets. And it's going to walk you through that very similar process that we went through with the Kelly guide. And you can just start updating best real estate group in Atlanta, you know, just whatever you want. And then you can update your section headers here. Info. Since this has a red asterisk, I'm going to add some text there just so it will configure properly. You can add your images here. So let's say for this, I'll just bring in, this is an image that I downloaded out of Designs. And here's another image. I'll just try this one real fast. And you can see, you know, just kind of shows how it's going to crop that image. Footer, give Nick a call today. And this is my real contact information. So if you want to add it to your cell phone, feel free to reach out to me at any time. And then I will click the next to go through download my app, which I don't need to change anything because this is all correct. And this is my app URL. So I'll hit save and apply. Save and apply. It is still, oh, it looks like company profile. There's something missing. Section 1, more info. So when this save changes button doesn't let you hit save, that means that you're missing something from your page. So I'll click save and apply, and hopefully this should work. So now it is save changes. But just to keep track of this website, because with the changes that I just made, it doesn't override the current page. It actually saves it as a new one, which is kind of confusing. And that's definitely something that the labs team is working on streamlining. But I'm going to save it as company profile 430, hit save changes. I would like to make visible, click yes. So now I was able to go through and make that update to my page. You can see here, I've added that page, but now I have to set it live because it's not actually on my agent site yet. So I'll come back over here to site and app settings, click on site pages. But I already have an About Us page, so I don't need to create a new one. But what I can do is I can come over here on the 3 dots, click on this, click select page, and then I can select this new company profile page that I made today. And it also has a created on date, so that way it's just a little bit easier for you to keep track of as well. And then click continue, and I always hit save page changes. So if I come back over here, do a quick refresh, and I click on About Us, you'll be able to see here the changes that I made. Hello, more info. Oh, but my images did not load. Well, that is not fun. So, although my images did not load properly, I wanted to show you how to make those changes to sites that you've already created through Designs. Now, one thing I want to show you is how to add a Homekeeper blog to your website. So a lot of questions I've gotten is, how do we add blogs to our website? And at the moment, our KW sites don't have blogging capabilities that we could before on Playstore. But we still want to provide a lot of information to our clients. We are market experts, and we want to be able to provide them all the information that they are looking for with anything to do with real estate. And one way to do that is through Homekeeper. And as a part of Keller Williams, we have access to Homekeeper. So I want to show you how to add that to your website. So to get started, I am going to open a new browser real fast. So let's go over here, and then I'm going to go to Homekeeper. You should have received access to Homekeeper when you first affiliated with Keller Williams. If you don't know what your information is, I'd recommend just going to homekeepr.com and type in your email address and forgot password, and they'll send you a link to update your password for you to log in, because I just did it. So it should work for you too. But within Homekeeper, what we're going to do is we're going to scroll over here to My Widgets, and we're going to click on My Widgets. Now they have two different types of widgets within a Homekeeper. We have My Trusted Pros widget and My Blog widget. And for today, we want to use the blog widget, so just click on this tab here. And it gives us two options. We have the JavaScript and the iframe. What we're going to use is the iframe. And it's very important that we use that, because what an iframe is at a very basic level is it is a box on the website that will load another website within it. So while a consumer is on our, nicholascore.kw.com/blog, it is actually loading Homekeeper website within that page. So that's why we have to use an iframe to make sure that the information will load correctly. So here we are. We have this text here. This is going to be a preview down here so you can see what the blog will actually look like. So now that we have that information ready, I'm going to click back into Sites, click on Agent Pages, Agent Site Pages, and I'm going to create a new site. On my site, create page. I'm going to name this blog. So there are a couple ways that we can do this. You can to copy paste that script. The first that we can do is text. So what we can come over here is we could come over here, to content blocks, and we can just grab this text section here, add that here. I'm going to come back to the Homekeeper website, and I'm going to copy code for the iframe section. So I hit copy. I'll come back into my page builder, copy here. I'm just pasting. So just click on that, double click on it real fast, and now it automatically loads that blog in there. So you can see it is loaded within that text section. Now, one thing that we are missing from this is a header. So we could theoretically come back over here to text, add it to the top, add another text section to the top, and name this blog. Font, we'll just do Times New Roman. And I'm just going to do this super quickly, just show, so blog. So now we have a title for the page. But you can still see, like as I mentioned earlier, we have, we're not able to save this page, so we have to add at least a single widget. So we can just scroll down this page here. Let's say for today, we'll just download my app. We'll just add that, so just drag that down here. Download my app. So this, I don't know why it is not dragging to add. Well, then you know what I would recommend next time. Let's try this. So let's say if I put my app there, and let's say I just dragged it down. See, perfect. So I was able to move it. So if you have trouble like I was just having, trying to put it at the bottom, just put it in the middle, and then you can drag it down. So now it says blog. We have all of our Homekeeper blog information here. And then we scroll down. And then I guess it's because this page is, I think it's because this is, the Homekeeper site is actually scrollable within that section that it's preventing me from scrolling all the way down. But I was able to add the widget. It is there. So I'll just do configure widgets, make sure everything is all good. hit save and apply. Save changes. Yes. Now I'm just going to really briefly I want to show you how this is live. Cancel. So site and app settings. I'm just going to do this really quickly because I also want to show you another way that we can add this blog in here to make it even easier. So we'll just do blog 1. I'm naming it blog 1 because I'm going to add blog 2 in just a second. And then click save page changes, come over here to my URL, do a refresh. Let me decline that. And then I'll come over here. We have blog 1. So you can see now we have a blog, and here's all this information on that is provided from us through Homekeeper. And we scroll down, interested, let's talk. And you can load more. However, in my opinion, this isn't the most beautiful looking blog page. And I think that we could do something better. And I can show you something a little bit easier that will kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So come back over, we're going to create a new site on my agent site, create page. Now, one thing that I found in playing around with, let me rename this blog 2 first before we get started. One thing that I found in playing around with the agent builder is that the widgets that we have created are pretty user-friendly, and you can kind of make them your own. And you can actually add that HTML text into the text areas of a widget. So I'm going to use the agent profile image here, or the agent profile widget, to kind of be the foundation and the shape and size of my website. And since I have to have a widget on the page to save it, this is a great way to do that. So kills 2 birds with 1 stone there. And then again, I can add the download my app widget below. Perfect. Good to go. Now we configure configure our widgets. So agent profile. So this is just pulling in information from my marketing profile, but I don't need to have a screenshot here, so I can change that image. So for today, I'm just going to use this. But this could be a logo. This could be an image that says blog, whatever you want it to be. You update page title. So rather than saying my name, it would say blog, and then role and company here. Latest real estate news from Nicholas Real Estate Group. Bio title. So here you can just, as you're going through the information here on the right, you can see how it looks on the left, so you can properly update the information. So here, since it has a red asterisk, we have to have something there. So I'm just going to put blog here. Now I'm going to come back to the Homekeeper page. I'm going to copy the iframe code again, just hit copy there, come back over here, and then where it says agent bio, I'm going to select everything, hit delete. I'm going to paste in that code there, and we'll let it be. Contact title, contact phone number, and then I don't know why sometimes a marketing profile will add dashes, sometimes it doesn't. This one isn't letting me add dashes. So I'll just hit save and apply. Now it's going to load, and you can see here's my new image, blog, the title, latest real estate news from Nicholas Real Estate Group. We have our title here. And then the actual blog content from Homekeeper is loaded into the agent profile widget. And to me, this looks a lot more professional, looks a lot nicer. So anywhere as you are playing around with your widgets, if there's a text area, you can drop HTML code into that. So you're good to go. So now I'll just hit save changes. Yes, I would like to make visible. It'll come back over here. I'm going to add this to my website because I want you to be able to see what it looks like in a live setting. Site pages, add page, blog 2, continue. Blog 2, save page changes. So come back to the home page. Let me do a quick refresh. Come to my drop-down menu right here. Now I have blog 2. And now you can see how that Homekeeper blog renders within the profile widget. And you can just scroll down. So within that section, they're able to scroll through. And then when they click on the information, it will open up into that Homekeeper page. So that is how that works. So you can see just a great option is the way to provide content to your website. One thing I want to show you real fast, and I'm going to make this pretty quickly, is how can you create like an open house page, or if you want to have a featured listing page. So I'm going to close out of these 2 windows here. And the way we can do that is similarly through HTML code. So what I would recommend is going to an HTML generator site. And this may be a little bit more advanced for others. And I'm always here to help if you want to do this. So we'll come over here to HTML generator. And here's a free code generator that we have that we'll be able to paste back into our page. But what I want to do is I want to create just like let's say an open house page for a listing that I have. So I'm just going to come over here. And I'm going to go to my website. So here's the listing that I have. And I want to grab this image right here because I want to put that image on this website. So I'm going to hold down Control, click that, or actually, sorry, Command, click on it, sorry. So we open up here. Now hit Control on it, and then open image in new tab. And then here, we will hit Control and then copy image address. So I'm going to come back over here to this HTML editor. So I have this, and I'm going to create a table, just a 1-by-1 table. And the reason I'm going to create a table is to what Rudiger mentioned earlier, is that when you start playing with the margins and stuff within the KW command page builder, it doesn't necessarily work well with responsive pages. But if you put in a table here, I can set the information within HTML to render properly on any type of screen. So I have my page or my table here. I'm going to come to table properties. And for width, I'm going to click on 75%. So by having it at a percent and not an actual pixel size, it will only be as wide as 75% of the screen that's being used. And then I want to click on alignment to center. So click center. Okay. So now we have our table set up here. So let's create open house. And for me, we want to center this. And we also want to set this as a header. And one thing to keep in mind is when you set this as a header, the HTML code, when it renders within the command platform, command already has headers set up, so it will render as a larger font size. So we have open house. And then here I want to insert an image. So I'll click this image item here. Source, this is where I'm going to paste that URL for that image. Now, when it does that, it automatically populates the dimensions here. But what I want to do is I want to click constrain proportion so it doesn't do that. And then in the first section, I want to put 100%. And then I want to delete everything there. So what this is going to do is this is going to make the image that I have included here be 100% of the width of this table that will show at 75% of the width of the screen being used. So we'll click OK. Perfect. So we can see that image here. Then we want to hit
And
enter.
Nick, since you're talking about percent right now, I also played with the margins a little bit in Command. And you can set the margins of like the button and of cells as percent there too. So you can have
Awesome.
a 10% margin, not just pixels.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Rudiger, for that information. Yeah, so perfect. Even better, so you can start to save that percentage so that way it'll help render more properly on different devices. So I have open house here. We'll probably want to do, let's do Sunday. What is this? It would be May, was that 3rd, 2020, 2 to 4 p.m. And then we can come back over here, to the actual listing. Let me close out of here. Come over here, and I can just grab all of the information. And I can just paste that in there. And then we can change the font, so you can clear formatting. But we want, let's say we want to have this justify all the way around, and we want this to, you can just, play with all of it, edit. We can make this a color. Let's make this, just for today, we'll just make it orange. Oh, you know what? I should probably add the address here. So let me come right here, hit enter, 3354 Dunn Street, Southeast, Smyrna, Georgia, 30080. But what we also want to do is we want to add a link. So if someone is on my open house page, they can click through to the actual URL. So I'm going to come over here. Sorry, and the Zoom window keeps getting in my way. So I'm going to copy this URL of the actual listing from my web page, because I know that if someone's on my site, I want them to stay in my site. So I come back over to the HTML window, and then I will come over here to the insert edit link, insert the URL. You can put in title, you don't have to, but target, what you want to do here is you want to select this to open in a new window. Now, because what we're doing is we're adding HTML, so it's going to be a page within a page on our website, is we want this, if they click on the image, to go through to a new page. Otherwise, it gets really confusing and it's not a great user experience. So we'll click OK to open a new window. And then let's say we want this here to be, this text for the address to be a link as well. We'll do the same thing. Target, new window. Okay, perfect. So now we have our open house page all created. So come over here to the right-hand side of the screen, copy this. We will come back into Command. We'll create a new website on my agent site, create page. I'm going to name this open house. And then as we learned last time, let's add the widget first. So we'll add the contact form first. And then I'm going to do a content block of just text, and I'm going to add that to the top. Come over here to the text, hit paste. And then you just click out of it, give it a second, and it should load properly. Now this does not look like it is loading properly. So let's do this. Let's delete that. Come back over here to our HTML. Let's just do another. Let's try edit, copy, come back to our page builder, grab text, add that to the top, paste. Perfect. So now you can see that it has loaded in here correctly. Oh, you know what I didn't do over here? Actually, so let me come back right here. I'm just going to delete that. because I don't think I have this all. Let's keep that centered. All right, so I want to make sure that text is centered. So just real quick update. So hit copy again, add the text, copy that, and then just pasting that here, and then close out. Now, in order to save, I have to configure widgets, but because we just did the contact me form and there's really nothing to configure, it's going to let me hit save. So we'll do save changes. Yes, make publish. So here we have our open house site we just created. Click site and app settings, site pages, add page. We're going to select the open house page we just made from HTML. Hit open. It's going to be open house, open house, open house, and then hit save page changes. Come over here, go home, click refresh. Come over here. Now we scroll down to open house. And you can see that that HTML code that we created, this image now renders within the center of the page and has all of that same features of what we created here, but it now shows on our page. And I can click, and you can see how to Rudiger's point earlier, it renders properly and it's in the center of the page, and I can show you how as it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, it still renders properly. So as someone is using a phone or a tablet, this image of my listing, an open house, and everything here will render properly. And then I can click on it, and that takes them to a new browser window with that listing right here. So I just walked through a lot of information. We're at just over our time here. So before we go, I want to see, are there any questions that you all have for anything I went over today or anything that could quickly help you with before we end our call today? All right. Thank you all for joining me this morning. I hope this was helpful. And then as you are playing with your sites, reach out to me. I'm here to help. I'm happy to help you add anything to your site that you want. And I will continue to play around with it. So for our next website class, I'll be able to have even more information for you. So have a great rest of your morning, and I will talk to you all soon. Thank you.